Moving now to the U.S., of course, the market is closed today for President's Day. However, on Friday, stocks closed slightly higher, extending their winning streak to 6 days in a row. And the major averages ended off their session highs after news broke that special counsel Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russian nationals and 3 Russian entities for allegedly interfering with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The market soon stabilized after Deputy Attorney General Rosenthal conference that these indictments had no allegations of willing support to the Russians by Americans. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed 19.01 points higher, with Pfizer as the best performing stock in the index. The S&P 500 closed just 0.04% higher, taking out a 6-day winning streak after gaining as much as 0.9%. Utilities and healthcare were the best performing sectors on the broad index. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq was 5-day winning streak closed 0.2% lower. It rose as much as 0.7% on the day. In Asia, markets mostly rose today after the US's S&P 500 extended its winning streak on Friday to 6 days. Markets in the Greater China region remain closed for the Lunar New Year holiday. Japan's Nikkei 225 rose 428.96 points, while the Topix index added 37.78 points. South Korea's Kospi index added 20.99 points. Meanwhile, Australia's ASX 200 reversed early losses to finish up 37.6 points. And back here in Africa, Qatar National Bank, the Middle East's largest lender by assets, says it will sell a 2% stake in its Egyptian unit, QNB Al-Ali, to comply with Cairo listing rules. A QNB spokesman said the bank had no current plans to further reduce its stake, which would stand at 95% after the sale. The sale of the 2.125% stake is intended to comply with Egyptian Stock Exchange's rules that require a free float of not less than 5%. QNB has hired CI Capital to advise it on the sale of a small stake. QNB entered Egypt by buying Société Générale's Egyptian business for $2 billion in 2013, and Al-Ali is the third largest Egyptian bank by assets. And Egypt aims to sell Eurobonds worth $3.4 billion in the 2018-2019 fiscal year, which begins in July. Egypt raised $4 billion in denominated Eurobond sales that closed late on Tuesday in bonds issued in 5, 10, and 30-year tenures. The Finance Ministry is set to begin talks this month with European banks to issue euro-denominated Eurobonds expected to be valued at 1 to 1.5 billion euros and sold next April. Anglo-American Platinum, the world's top platinum producer, has declared its first dividend in 7 years as full-year headline earnings more than doubled, and the company says it is not committing capital to major projects in 2018. The company's tight-fisted investment stance highlights the fragile state of platinum mining in South Africa, home to around 2/3 of known reserves, where the industry has battled for years in the face of soaring costs, depressed prices, policy uncertainty, and spasms of violent labor and social unrest. The Anglo-American unit said headline earnings more than doubled to 3.9 billion rand in 2017, in line with what it previously flagged to the market, lifted by cost cutting and a higher dollar basket price for platinum group metals. In South Africa, a court there has thrown out the findings of a public anti-graft watchdog that Barclays Africa unduly benefited from an apartheid-era bailout of another bank and should repay. The public protector had said in a report last year it had found South Africa's apartheid government and central bank breached the constitution by giving Bankup, a bank later acquired by ABSA, the retail banking unit of Barclays Africa, a series of bailouts between 1986 to 1995. The agency, a constitutionally mandated anti-corruption agency led by Busiwe Mangwane, had ordered in its report that Barclays Africa must repay 1.1 billion rand, that's about $83 million to the state, as it had unduly benefited from the bank bailout. But the High Court ruled in favor of Barclays Africa's argument that it did not unduly benefit from the bailout because the price paid for backup took into account the central bank financial assistance. Zambia will rearrange loans from Chinese companies and instead look to borrow directly from the Asian giant's government in a bid to satisfy International Monetary Fund conditions and unlock a potential $1.3 billion loan from the multilateral lender. On Saturday, the Zambian presidency said borrowing directly from the Chinese government would ease the repayment burden after the IMF on Friday rejected Zambia's latest plan, saying it will make it harder for the country to sustain its debt load. It was the second time in under 6 months the IMF had rejected the Zambian proposal, causing the South African copper producers' dollar-denominated bonds to fall across the curve on Friday. Zambia's total public debt at the end of August 2017 stood at $12.45 billion, representing 47% of gross domestic product. The country issued Euro bonds worth $2.8 billion between 2012 and 2015, and has said it plans to refinance those bonds to cut the cost of debt servicing in a broad strategy to keep debt levels from spiraling. And Glencore plc and Randgold Resources Limited are among major mining companies in the Democratic Republic of Congo clubbing together in a bid to stop sweeping legal reforms, claiming their interests were poorly served by the existing industry body. In a letter sent to Congolese President Joseph Kabila, investors requested a meeting to once again put forward their positions about changes to the mining code approved by lawmakers in January 27. The new code will overhaul Congo's most important economic sector if Kabila signs it, raising the cost of doing business for investors in Africa's biggest copper producer while boosting the state's share of mining revenue. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll look at some of the major challenges the new South African president may have to face in the course of rebuilding the economy. To stay with us.